All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 17 here on the Growth and Deck podcast. I'm excited and honored. We have Callan Faulkner, who is here today and is actually our first ever guest appearance on the podcast. So, very excited and quite honored. So, thank you for coming on.
Gosh, first ever. That is
Yeah.
crazy, Jane. I feel very honored. Thank you for having me. I'm super
Yeah, of
excited.
course. So normally it's Sam, Lee, and I, but today Callan's going to be filling in for Sam. And I think we should just let the audience know and kind of our followers know a little bit about you. So can you give us a quick rundown and background and backstory about yourself?
Yeah. So, my name's Callan. Great to meet you guys. I've been in the technology consulting world really since I graduated college in 2013. But last February, it's a long story of how I got there, but I was really deep into the real estate investing space. I was running a systems consulting business, so teaching real estate investors how to automate their business, set up their systems. And I went on this mastermind trip and I did this breathwork session. And I came out of it and I just had this full body feeling that I needed to shut everything that I was doing down and go all in on AI education. And the reason for that is I am so obsessed with efficiency and most obsessed with activating people to their highest potential. And I think that AI is maybe the greatest invention in human history that can take someone that is operating below their potential, into these tasks that they should not be doing, their soul does not want to be doing, they weren't put on the planet to do, and remove those bottlenecks and activate people to be more strategic and more visionary and use critical thinking and be more intuitive. And that's a high level, but it led me into starting a business called The Uncommon Business. And we're one of the fastest growing AI education businesses in the world. And we've gone from 0 to 4 million in the last 18 months in revenue. And we have 5 full-time employees. We're running AI education courses and boot camps, and Lord knows what else is coming, but it has been an absolute blast. So that's a little backstory.
Oh my gosh, thank you. That's amazing story. And for everybody out there, I've actually so backstory there about how I got into Callan's world. So one of the people that I follow on Instagram, Renee, she had done a cross post on Instagram, and I saw Callan, and it came just at the right time. And I'm a big believer in kind of the energy and flow of things and serendipity. And it was at this time where I was feeling super overwhelmed about all the agent news earlier in the year and even at the end of last year. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like my business, what am I going to do? Because I was doing engineering consulting. Like, how do we integrate this? All these things. And so I was like, I need to have a playbook or a framework. I need to find somebody who can take me from kind of this ground level usage of AI to the next level and make it very practical, tangible, hands on. And the world delivered, the universe delivered this little thing on Instagram. I clicked on it. 2 free master classes later, and then right into Automate to Accelerate program. And I've been in one of Callan's programs ever since. So about, I think that was the March timeframe when it first came on. And so it just completely transformed and changed my life from really the start on. And there was this moment in time where we were on the master class, and there was a guy on there in the real estate world, and I think he was like an attorney or a lawyer in the real estate space, and he's like, I'm the specialist, and like this advice from chat
Oh,
gpt
he was
isn't
the
quite
tax
right.
strategy guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were like, yeah, well, that's why I want your AI. And at that moment in time, it actually completely changed my life, like completely
Wow.
unlocked. Yeah. And if you don't mind, I'll go into that story a little bit
I would
deeper because I
love
think
that.
awesome. So it changed the course of my life because I've always felt from very early on. I always knew I wanted to be a mechanical engineer through grade school, high school, right into college, came out, got into the workforce, kind of this prototypical engineering ladder. But I always felt like there's this piece missing. Like, I like systems, I like efficiency, I like business process, I like project management and engineering. And like there was something missing. And at
Mm-hmm.
that very moment in time, it was like that was the unlock. And it was like, AI is kind of that central hub that was missing, because now it unlocked me to be able to apply and take AI to the engineering and project management construction spaces,
Mm.
talk their language, specialize it with them, and then help them really ultimately fulfill their highest potential, both for the engineers and their businesses.
So freaking cool, Shane. I remember that so vividly because
Yeah.
you always get one of those people that are like, this is a BS, it's not right. And it was so true. I'm like, okay, John, you have these 25 years of tax strategy and all of these frameworks and this IP and transcripts, hundreds of hours of transcripts of you coaching your clients. Give me access to that AI. What is it? $1,000 a month to have tax strategy on demand from John? Great. And you can back it up that it's accurate and you've helped people. Amazing. And it sounds like that's exactly what you had. You have this years and years of helping engineering companies scale, and you know their business so intimately. Is it construction services too, or is it mostly just engineering?
So I've been on both sides, both engineering and construction. So I've seen projects from very, very infancy, starting out to see if it will pencil out to make money, and then all the way through like hitting the start button on a brand new facility. So
Oh, yeah.
everything. And when we initially started Obnova, our business, it was more around very niched down technical services and engineering.
Yep.
But now I kind of understand the full life cycle. So I'm able to help them. Well, also I started in like kind of asking people as I was working with them, like, hey, you guys using AI? And everybody's like, no, like, well, some chat GPT here, some chat GPT there. Everybody's disjointed. There's no roadmap. There's no cohesive pattern or use protocol. So I was like, wow, okay. I just wanted to help people. And that's really one of our biggest things at Obnova, is just how do we help people and improve their business, improve their life, let people get
Oh,
back to doing what they like to do.
so good. It's so good. Oh, I love it, Shane. It's like taking these years of genius and wrapping it up into this package that you can now go serve people, and probably in a lot more automated way than you were before, which is so awesome.
Yeah, and it's interesting because talking with a bunch of engineering people, I was actually at a conference for engineering companies earlier this
Oh,
week and
cool.
gave a talk. And it's interesting because most other industries and companies have caught up with business process automation over the last couple of decades, or 10 years at least. But engineering is one of the ones where, and construction, not quite. So, like,
Mm,
as of a year ago, other companies that I'm working with, or even present day that I'm working with as clients, you know, they are still using just manual spreadsheets, and all their files are saved on a network, and all of these things.
wow.
And so there's like I mean, no automation to speak of. So it's an
Oh my
awakening, but it's
god.
like, okay, we need to just map your business flows first, then we'll automate them and we can integrate AI. But I love using AI to help do all that as well.
Mm. Well, I think it's well. First of all, you're getting into you're gonna have a lot more people. Is when you get into these meetings? Is it sometimes you almost have to hold back and just give them just basic breadcrumbs because they get overwhelmed pretty quickly when you're going all the way in?
Yeah, there's a spectrum. I'm sure, and I would love to get your opinion on this. Of when you talk to different business owners and things, there's a spectrum usually from like fear and anxiety all the way through like super interested, pulling you aside afterwards, like, how do we do this? And I noticed the same thing. But I also did notice that talking to most people, it's like, okay, we got to dial it way back to kind of ground zero and then build it up from there, because yeah, their heads just kind of explode like, oh, we could automate this. Like the most automation, and it isn't even automation, but like building a macro enabled spreadsheet with like a really big spreadsheet would be like a big deal for in the engineering space.
Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah.
So you've seen, and obviously we talk about the AI magic show a lot. This is I think every leader, whether you're an engineering leader or you're a school principal, like you should know how to do an AI magic show, because what's happening now is people don't know what AI is. They're seeing it on the news and they're seeing, oh my God, AI is going to take my job. They have no idea that as a single parent, it could completely automate meal planning, and it could automate the to-do list, and you could help with uh, my God, I was thinking about my mom planning Christmas gifts, like, and all the things you have to do as a parent. I'm like, did you use it this last Christmas to like navigate? Are you the Christmas guy, or is your wife the Christmas?
My wife is the Christmas gal, and
Okay,
she's got
okay,
that pretty well down pat.
okay,
But we
okay.
will definitely be using it this year for sure
For
to integrate
sure.
that.
Absolutely. I'm like, okay, who's getting what and what's from Santa and what's from mom and dad? You know, these are simple, silly things that take a lot of bandwidth and it
Yep.
takes a lot of energy. So yeah, when I'm thinking about you doing these demos, I'm like, you just have to almost like do a pre-interview of like, what are the things? Just tell me about your day. Tell me about your life. Can you show me your to-do list? Actually, that's what I love doing the most. I'm like, show me your to-do list, personal life, everything in between. What are you working on right now? And I find that if we're not showing them exactly what they need to see right then, they will
Hmm.
give a blank. Like they're like, okay, that seems kind of cool. But the moment you say, after this meeting, what are you going to go back and do? You're like, well, I need to build this proposal out. Okay. Can we just do that together quick? Do you mind if I show you how to do it in 10 minutes? And then, of course, you do your whole whiz bang thing. So you interview them. Hey, did you do a Zoom meeting with that person? Well, obviously there's context and whatnot,
Hmm.
but that's so tangible. They're like, wow, I was going to go back and spend 90 minutes. You just showed me I could have taken 15. I'm now It's almost like negligence against myself. It's like I'm being negligent by not understanding this. Now I'm just wasting my own time. I'm going to be late to dinner because I have to finish this proposal. I don't have to be late. I don't have to be late. It's like, no, that was your choice. That was your choice to be late.
Yeah, 100%. And the story, like back to what resonates, and in the audience, one in my presentation, what I went to is I have this go-to story with our dog, who's a 110-pound Bernese Mountain Dog named Hudson. And Hudson sometimes makes a guest appearance in the background once in a while walking by, but he's out in the garage for this one because it's so important.
Oh my god.
Um, but his note, like earlier this summer, this is a great example just for everyday use. Is like earlier this summer, we're outside. He has like his nose is normally black, and he has this giant like pink spot with scab showing up. Like,
Oh.
man, this is not looking good. Like, oh, I'm gonna have to take him to the vet. Ugh. And so I just like snap a photo, throw it into Chat GBT, give it some context like, hey, you're a vet specializing in Bernese Mountain Dog care. Here's the situation. Here's the photo. And it came back with a few follow-up questions, but then after that we literally had a treatment protocol because it was like, it's probably one of these three things. It's not really like super urgent, but try this treatment protocol. Gave me the exact two products I've never heard of, right? Like normally for a human it would be peroxide and some Neosporin and a Band-Aid. Well,
Totally.
for animals they have specialized treatment care, and so we get that on Amazon next day, start treating them. Within a day and a half it's gone and resolved. So what did that do? We had a plan, and within a minute we had the product that we needed, and we didn't have to go to the vet. We didn't have to spend our time and money on at the vet buying their products, all these things. Now it's not always a slam dunk like that to replace professional medical care, but in this case, yeah, I felt pretty comfortable with it.
Low risk. And yeah, the vet, I don't know what your day was holding you, but like taking him to the vet is now a 2-hour block of like, what's your time worth? And obviously if the if the dog needs to go, like, okay, of course. But those exact moments of a pain, and 99% of people are not going to step back and think about the situation and where AI could help them. 99% of people are doing what they do every day. Oh, well, there's this pain point. Here's this thing. I'm just going to do the same thing I've always done, even if it takes time, even if it's annoying, even if I hate doing it, even if it's a nuisance. And I think that's really, if we zoom out into what we're doing here, the work that we do, and I know you've done this work too, this inner work of thinking about my thinking and thinking like, why am I triggered right now? Why do I feel anxious? That's so weird. I don't know where that's coming from. That skill set of metacognition, thinking about your thinking, is the exact same skill set that you're doing right here. You're just looking at a situation and you're looking at it from the 10,000-foot view and saying, I'm just going to flip the frame for 1 second. I'm just going to say, and I know I've said this in my master class, I'm like, I used to have a post-it note on my computer that said, could AI help you with this? So that it just started to become like a muscle memory. Like, can AI help you with this? Can it help you with this? I don't know. Test it. Oh, they couldn't help me with this. They couldn't possibly help. But why don't you just see? Why don't you just see if it could?
Yeah, and what you just said there actually reminded me going back to like when the App Store first came out on the iPhone, and that muscle memory kind of probably for a lot of people still is. It's like, oh, is there an app for that? I remember
Oh yeah,
remember like, oh, is there an app for that? Like, oh, I'm
yeah.
trying to hang a picture. I need a level. Is there an app for that on the iPhone? Oh, wow, there is. Okay, cool. Well, now it's like you don't even have to worry about downloading separate apps. Like it can actually build the app for you if you needed it to, but you can just go in there and have that expert at your fingertips, whether it's on your computer or on your phone. And if you just treat it like that, it will put you at a level equal to that of the knowledge that you don't really have, like a veterinarian or
100%.
into energy work and spirituality, all of that. It can universally help in every area of your life.
Absolutely. Well, and it goes back into, again, I think entrepreneurship and being a leader inside of a really growing organization is truly, it's personal development work, because we have to rewire our brain. Like what you just did was you rewired your brain around solving that problem. We've been having, even for this next launch of Automate to Accelerate, our AI training program, we are going to have most likely about 1,000 people come into our program over the course of 5 days. So when I sit down to think about how do we protect ourselves from issues, and they're gonna want access to things, and they're gonna want links, and they want access to Slack, and they have questions, and this and that. It's like every way that I've ever solved a problem from 0 years old to 34 years old is out the window. Like I have to check my ego at the door. Like I I I sit in all my meetings and I say, "Okay, let's slow down and let's think totally outside the box, limitless. Like limitless thought here. How could we automate this, and is it worth it to automate parts of this?" Like now, obviously we're all AI architects in the meeting, so it's a fun conversation, and we're all, brainstorming and thinking, and we walk away with, you know what, I actually think we could for sure have at least all the drafts of the emails in
Hmm.
the, any
Mm-hmm.
sales email that comes in, at least have a draft written. I'm not ready to not have a human in the loop, but
Totally.
again, it goes back to it. I mean, AI is improving on average 16 times. It's 16 times smarter every 12 months. 5 years from now, it's going to be a million times smarter than it is today. I mean, you can't even comprehend what's going to happen. But the truth is, as humans, we have to double down on on creativity, resourcefulness, being obsessed with it, learning about this and understanding what's possible, because what we've always done, and this is, Joe Dispenza talks about this all the time. It's like
Mm-hmm.
what you've always done will not get you there, but it has never been more true now. If you are actually trying to scale a business, grow quantum leap 10x in a short amount of time, you just have to constantly say, like, I don't really know. I don't really know what's possible right now. Let's train ourselves up, become obsessed with this, and throw all of our solutioning out the door that we've done in the past, which is just, it's fun though. Once you get into it, it's so
Yeah,
much fun.
it is truly like limitless. And on that point, like for you guys, how do you decide when you actually hire a physical coach to work with you versus just using AI and kind of bludgeoning it out yourselves?
It all comes down to bandwidth.
Yeah.
It's like, when we're making these decisions, it's like, Carter is our director of curriculum and innovation. And could he build some of this stuff? Of course he could. But, what is his time worth? Is it worth it for him to develop a new training on functional, practical AI agents in real businesses right now and teach that to our team? Or is it better for him to build an internal AI agent that he could build in his sleep? No, I'd
Mm.
rather have him out networking, building, talking to people, and bringing this incredible information in than sitting down and building. Let's say this launch that we're doing, we will, I think minimum will be a $2 million launch. Where our goal is 2.5, a
Hmm.
million. Okay, if we can improve customer sentiment and we can improve the onboarding experience by, I don't even care. Let's just say we reduce the amount of time it takes to respond to emails by 50%. Okay, last time we had a full-time person for 60 days that came in to do that. That cost us, I don't know, 10K.
Hmm.
Okay, now it's money plus the happiness of the client. Yeah, sure. I'll pay someone 10K to come in and just build this, test this, work with Carter all day long. Because ultimately the client, that is such an important part of the business, is the first touch. They pay us $8,000 to come into the course.
Hmm.
They should have everything they need within 20 minutes. Within 20 minutes, they should be totally ready to go. So, yeah, like that comes down to what's the bandwidth and what's the time worth. And I'm so not afraid to invest in these types of things, obviously, because they work. I mean, it's not even about showing stuff. It's like, why would I pay a human being to do this task too? Like, no human actually wants to be responding to these customer service emails. What a waste of their life and energy when we could have tech do it so
Yeah,
much better.
totally. Right. And that's a good example for a lot of people in business out there. And one of the examples that I hit on a lot is like a knowledge hub or an FAQ section where people are always going to have these same questions over and over. And you have well published data that you can then use whatever interface you want, a return email, a chat interface, where people can then query that information, get a direct response. And it saves so much time and energy for people at higher levels and above, or even at that customer service level. So it's just, again, I back to your point about fulfilling your highest potential. And for me, it's about living in that higher energy, that zone of genius, and not having to come out of that for all the other mundane stuff, because
Yeah.
you can automate a lot of that and pull that away. So that way, whatever it is you like to do, problem solving, high energy, high value stuff, you can focus more on that, and you'll get more return on that.
Oh yeah. Like I want a person that's in that role that's actually, I would rather have them reviewing the emails, of course, maybe taking, making, changing it 10, 20%, but
Mm-hmm.
actually looking at the data every day and saying, these are the themes. This is the email that needs to go out tomorrow to the whole group because these are the questions we keep getting. So it's like, it's not just this reactive BS. It's like, let's make it proactive. Look at the data, pull all of the, now that we have Cloud connectors, it's like Cloud can just be in there regularly pulling data for us. What is the top 3 questions and what are the answers? Right, take that, bring it into the Brand Guardian, which is our copywriter, and suddenly you have a beautiful email that hits the exact pain points your clients are talking about. It's like it's. I think a lot of people think, oh, AI is just going to help us do what we already do faster. No, AI is going to help you do things you never even thought you could do because of the data that exists. But that goes back to, is your data organized? Do you have people that are actually thinking clearly? Do you have people that even know what's possible? And that's why I will probably, well, who knows if AI will be a thing when I'm 80, but I'm like, I'll be on my deathbed being like, please invest in AI fluency. Because it's just, even if it's only for yourself, like even if it's only for your own personal life, it's just an amazing skill set that it's kind of non-negotiable now. I used to say like, "Oh, you should do it." Now I'm like, "No, this is baseline for me."
Yeah, yeah. One of the podcasts that I listened to, that was one of the myths that he had here recently for his 600th episode, was that one of the myths is that it's this competitive advantage. And maybe in certain industries and niches, like in engineering, for now it could be, but like in 12 months, will it be? No, it's the level set starting point for every business. Like, do you have any companies out there doing this that don't have computers anymore? No, not really. And when they came out, was it initially a little competitive advantage? Yeah, but pretty soon everybody had a PC at their
Yeah.
and they're on Excel, they're using CAD, all these different things to accelerate their work. And so now this is just another iteration of that. But I think it goes beyond that because it does open up the potential so much more than just having a PC or any other evolution that's happened and change in history. Like this just blows the doors off that. And you could literally go into any industry now and be at least conversant with somebody who used to, might have 20, 30 years of experience, but you could talk with them in that common language because of AI now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think most people are thinking of this as a nice to have, but I'm not hiring a single human being that isn't AI fluent. So now suddenly 99% of my resumes are out the window. And I have so many people on my free master classes. We'll work with any, it's real. My job is really to find those non-technical people and turn them into AI architects.
Mm-hmm.
So many of them. I'm struggling to get a job. I'm struggling to get a job. I'm like, okay, are you AI fluent? Well, no, not yet. I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? We was just talking with one of the women who came through our boot camp, just the boot camp, just the $47 boot camp, and she
Mm-hmm.
just got a 50K raise on her salary because she has AI prowess, is what the company said. They're like, and of course she went in and she did some discovery and she showed them, where their gaps were, and she didn't even have crazy. She knew some basic prompting and had some project knowledge. Like we didn't go into full automation and agents and blah blah. Like you don't even need to know that to be the greatest value to your organization. I just think of it too as like, did you play sports growing
Yep.
up? Were you an athlete? Okay, I can
Yep.
tell. So me too. I'm like, we'll never lose that part of us, and I think it comes out here. I'm like, we're playing a game. That's all we're doing here. Like we're just playing a game. And if you're playing a game, and I think ultimately life is a little bit of a game, and being in your job, you're playing a game, and like, yeah, of course I want to get our needs met. And once you have a roof over your head and water and food and your family, okay, good. Now it's just a game. Okay, well we're playing a game. And you're being told that there's an basically ethical steroid that's available to you. And it's available and it's legal and you can take the steroid. You will have to spend a little time learning it, and you'll have to get in. Maybe you'll invest a little money to get the steroid, but it will take you leaps and bounds ahead of other people. I'm like, you and I both, I'm like, it doesn't compute. It just doesn't compute, like, how it's not, like, okay, don't take it. I'm sure there was a guy in the Tour de France that just said no, nope, I'm not doing it, I'm not doing it, and suddenly, like, old John is like leading the pack in the Tour de France. He's like, how the hell is he out? I'm like, he's taking the steroid. Now in that case it was actually not legal, but once the whole pack does it, it's like, now that's where we're kind of at. I mean, it's like the
Yep. In
whole
order to keep up, right?
we're all here, we're all on the steroid, and it just so happens to be great. It's fun and exciting and legal, and it just gives you access to so much. And I know you're obsessed with knowledge too, and obsessed with knowledge accumulation, and it's just, I just can't get enough of it. Even just basic prompting, going in there and just doing a badass prompt, and you get this incredible, like, even just the deep research pieces. I'm like, it just makes me so happy. I love it. I know you do too. I could do it all day long. My girlfriend Nicole is like, you're obsessed. I'm like, I am. It's just so
Yeah.
fun.
It's nice to work in something that you're obsessed with, and it's, for me, that transformational point. It was like, wow, finally something that I could generate a lot of value for people. I'm kind of out in front with it, and I can apply it and teach them and bring them up to speed. And I'm just, yeah, obsessed with it, and I'll figure out different use cases and bring things to the table that I never even thought of were possible. And just by testing and trialing different things. And it's exciting to then teach other people and see them have those light bulb moments. And I'm usually it all the time. So like, what does that feel like on your side when people have those like aha moments?
No, I live for it. I mean, you know how I am on those master classes. I did a master class on Monday. It was supposed to be an hour. I went for 3 hours. I don't even. I'm not thirsty. I don't have to go to the bathroom. I have no senses. I am so in it. Like, I love the real time. Like, what are you working on? Solve their problem in real time, and they're now fully expanded. Now, you know how I coach. I know you do the same thing. It's like, there's an AI wrapper around a lot of personal development work that
Mm-hmm.
we do inside of our program. So, but AI just collapses time around personal development. It does, because I now have access to Ray Dalio's principles in real time. I can run any decision or anything I'm worried about through Ray Dalio's frameworks in an instant. He runs $1 trillion company. He's built the best systems in the world. The 1% live by his rules. And I now have him for $20 a month. Is it exactly Ray Dalio? No. Sure. Would it be better to have a conversation with him? Yeah, obviously. But can we get 70% there a lot closer than I am just out on my own. That's really the stuff that just lights me up so much. That 16-year-old kids that are struggling with anxiety, and I don't know where to exactly go next and how should I navigate this. If they knew how to prompt correctly, and they
Hmm.
knew how to have AI act as Jay Shetty or have AI act as Dr. Joe Dispenza and give them some action to take this day. Sure, there's a dark side of where that could go. Or if we're teaching these kids how to actually use it and ethically use it, and how to help rewire their brain and make an action plan, like there's so much magic that can be created with it.
Yeah, and that's a great lead into a question I had about. So there's probably a lot of people out there who are maybe fearful or skeptical. Even had I met a few of those here this week, and like, what's your interaction like them, and do you typically get them over the hurdle, or do you still have some people kind of pulling back, or
Oh,
are you able to kind of move the needle for them?
Oh yeah, I love the scared people. That's like my favorite thing in the whole world. I mean, my background is sales, so that really helps. I've learned a lot of principles of sales, but the principles of sales I've learned are my favorite are the challenger sale, which essentially
Mhm.
acts as my job is to be a consultant. My job is to solve your problem. So first of all, the first thing I do always in the very beginning is name their fears within 10 minutes. So I actually went on Grok and I ran that I have a prompt that does the subconscious the ideal client persona mind reader prompt. So go on Grok. Grok has an access to Twitter and Reddit threads. So I basically went on Grok and I was like, what are founders of $500,000 to $10 million companies thinking about AI, but they would never tell me. But they wake up in the night and their subconscious is saying it to them, but they've never said it out loud.
Mm.
And it's something around it's going to make my business less personal. I have no time for this. I'm never going to learn how to use this right because I'm not technical. And so I start my presentations naming their fears. And then
Mm.
I am also vulnerable with them and say, I have at one point or another felt every single one of these things too. I don't have time for this. I didn't have time for this. No time. No one has any time. It makes my business less personal, 100%. Before I really trained my AI on how to write, there were emails that went out, there were posts that went out that I was so embarrassed about. That got no likes, no traction, so cold. Like I've done it all. So, first of all, naming it, being vulnerable, I've been there. Now I reframe it. So, I'm going to reframe their fear as a sign of potential. The fear is the proof that we're on the edge of something. Like we're scared of what this could mean. I then like to anchor it in history. So have you read Super Agency by Reid Hoffman?
Oh, not yet. I got it
Okay,
sitting here
well
on
that's
the
not for your
desk.
learning accelerator. Yeah, but we have a in our program we build a learning accelerator which summarizes books. But in the book he actually goes back and talks through all these technical inventions, like all when the farmers became factory owners, and the secretaries actually moved into being knowledge workers, and the cars were invented, and the day the car was invented, the day, couple weeks, couple months, there were, I don't know, 20 different car accidents. Don't use the
Hmm.
number. There were a bunch of car accidents and they killed kids. There were kids in the car and they died. And so the car was named the Kid Killer. And that's what it was. It was a kid killer. And there were so much fear around this thing. They're like, this will never work. Kids are dying left and right because of this vehicle. And now it's like, of course, yeah, the car does have accidents every day. I mean, if we actually looked at the numbers of car accidents, it'd be insane. But it again, that's the beginning of technology is scary. So number one, all of
Yeah.
that. Then we have to solve their problem. I just have to show them. It's like the magic trick. They're like, I don't believe you. I don't believe you can do it. It's not blah blah blah. Blah. I'm like, give me the most random situation that you're dealing with right now that's going to require brain power of you. What are you dealing with? Oh, I need to have a hard conversation. I need to set a boundary with my neighbor.
Mm.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Tell me everything. What's going on? Well, he's growing marijuana in his backyard and it smells like this is real life. This is real life stuff I get in my master class, but it smells so bad and I don't know. Okay, great. All right, AI, you're Kim Scott. You're the author of a book called Radical Candor. You are phenomenal at creating amazing conversations that move the needle, create the outcome that I want, and lead with generosity and kindness. Here's the context of the situation. This is what's happened. This is where we're at so far. Here's what I'd like you to do. I want you to walk me through, I want you to create a boundary game plan. I want you to create the script. I want you to create a potential text message. I want you to create objection handling guide. And I want you to get my mind right around how to have this conversation. And then, by the way, could you also maybe influence and bring in a little Chris Voss in the middle of there? He's an FBI negotiator, just so that I'm setting myself up for success. Please ask any clarifying questions. Suddenly, Roger, who has been scared of AI his entire life, who's having tons of anxiety about his neighbor, is like, oh, got it. Okay, got it. This is going to help me with everything. There we go. There we go.
Yeah, I also love those instances, especially around those hard to have conversations or things where humans are typically emotional. It's nice because it takes that out of the equation, right? It gives you just an independent, straight up answer. And even if you had a human therapist, they have their own background and
Totally.
influences that can play into that, right? And so everybody might have had an experience with like a bad therapist or something, but now it's very indifferent. It doesn't have its own relationships in going on in the background or whatever the case might be that's kind of influencing it. It's just if you know how you want it to be, how you want it to behave, who it is, especially like you're giving a lot of great examples of books and authors, and that really helps narrow it down on this is kind of the response that I want, and this is the framework I wanted to use when I'm working with it, or if it's working with somebody else.
Well, it's so important to do that. And I think there's also now coming this camp of people who have tried it and they're not getting great results with ChatGPT. And what do? They immediately blame AI. The problem is ChatGPT, Grok, whatever, they are going online. And if you say, hey, I want you to write me what's something in engineering they do? They create.
Oh, I mean, yeah, proposal letter, right? Or like the
Okay.
proposal write up.
Sure, the proposal write up. So I bet you there's been an engineer that goes on chat and write me a proposal. And so let's just talk about the mechanics of what's happening. ChatGPT is sending out web scrapers and it's searching Google or web engines, mostly Google, for sales proposal templates. That's what it's doing. It's just going on Google and it's searching for sales proposal templates and sales proposal drafts and how to write a sales proposal. And it's finding random stuff from Wikipedia and Quora and God knows where. And it's bringing you back a random result of how a sales proposal should be written. Oh, and you don't like it. Yeah, I'm sure you don't because the templates and everything were random Google results versus giving it your past sales proposal template. Maybe the sales, I'm not sure if it says if engineering is up in sales or if they follow any methodologies or anything. But if you did, which you should, maybe the challenger sale, maybe you give it the challenger sale framework, you give it a past proposal you did, you give it the transcript of the discovery call you had with the client, and you have it interview you about 10 questions that could generate a perfect proposal. Now we're talking. Now you've suddenly set the rules. That's why I love bringing in these authors that already have frameworks because Kim Scott, author of Radical Candor, has a very specific framework on how to have crucial conversations. And it goes back to what we were saying before of extracting the human genius and bringing it into AI because AI is just fancy automation and it needs training. And the humans are the ones that are, Kim Scott's build this amazing framework, add her intuition and her genius with AI, and now suddenly you've got an amazing result.
Yeah, and in rapid amount of time, right? Like almost instantly, you can do all this, which is crazy because before you like what that would look like before is one somebody would recommend the book, and so you could use AI to now give you some ideas of the best books, but you would then have to go get that book, the audiobook, or read the cliff notes, or find on Google somebody who reviewed it, and then you'd have to synthesize all those key ideas, and you'd probably have to write it down or copy paste, and then figure out the framework and map it out. Now it's as simple as like if you have access to it, you can throw it into any document, throw it into like a notebook LM and get a mind map of that and then create the framework from that or use it as an influence into something like a custom GPT or a project. And it immediately gives it some grounding and a narrower focus. Because otherwise, like you said, it's literally looking at billions and trillions of pieces of information. So it's just going to pick random ones, and it's probably going to pick the easiest, lowest lift ones that it can find.
For sure. For sure. And it's going to be interesting to see over the next few years how OpenAI adjusts their algorithm and, are they able to change the role and create a better response? But, it it also depends on, again, like the human intuition of it. Like, I don't know, are you a fan of the way Alex Hormozy grows businesses, or do you like the author of Good to Great? I'm blanking on his name right now.
Oh,
Who
Jim
are your
Collins.
Thank you, Jim Collins. Like, who are your people? Who do you resonate with? Like, I think it's really fun to bring those frameworks in. And if I were those authors, I would be compiling my transcripts, my data, all of this together, and either allowing access to that to train AI, or they're going to have their own AIs sooner or later, and that's going to be fun too, to be able to pick up the phone and call them.
Yes, very much so. And I think that I also get a lot, I don't, you probably get this too, about authenticity. Like, oh, I'm afraid I'm going to lose my authenticity. And really, there's infinite combinations of all of these authors and characters and ideas, and how you apply those in your day to day in your work. So that's near infinite from a human creativity standpoint. So as long as you get the right education to understand how to train and utilize AI to look and sound like you, and then you're still always in the loop with it, then it's really just an accelerator. It's not something that is just doing it off on its own, and you're not losing that authenticity. It can actually be better.
Well, authenticity, and I'm glad you brought this up, Shane, because I think a lot of people do have an issue with this with AI of, well, it's not sounding like me, or like it doesn't feel aligned, or it doesn't feel like it's aligned with my values. Well, that's on you. You didn't share with AI what is your tone, what is your voice. And a lot of people don't even know what their tone and voice is because they haven't stepped back and thought about their thinking. They haven't thought about what their ideal client is, and what are your core values and personal values and professional values. So you think AI is going to come in here and immediately be able to build a perfect message to your client without training it on all of that? No, it's just the same thing as expecting you could call the best copywriter in the world tomorrow. You could say, "Hey, I'm the founder um of the Uncommon Business, and I want you to write my email for tomorrow." That's what people are doing in ChatGPT. They've not given it any understanding. There's no source of truth. There's no tone, vocabulary, boundaries, rules, when to say it, how to say it. Here's past examples. And this is when we start to get into this AI architect conversation of, and you're just training. It's just a trainer. And like the people that have done training in the past, if they've been a teacher, they will totally rocket ship right now with where AI is, because that's all you're doing. You're just enforcing rules. And then, this better than anyone, is you are you're making it better. You're testing it. Oh my god. I mean, how many times have you sat and tested a custom GPT, or tested a prompt, or tested anything in AI over and over and over again? And then it's like you never think it's going to be right, and then suddenly it gets it, and you're like, oh, okay, this was worth every minute of me wanting to throw my computer out the window, because now it gets it, and now it's fully me. It feels great. And then guess what? 3 months from now, you're going to change. You're going to evolve as a human. And I've had to change my voice and change my tone because I'm changing, and what I'm learning is changing. And that's the whole thing, is like, it's never been more important to be so tapped into your zone of genius and what you're actually feeling, thinking, knowing, learning, because you won't be able to create AI authenticity if you don't know your own authentic self.
Yeah, no, I love that. And that's a good last question. Lead into the last question I have is around, what do you think the future looks like for humans with AI over the next few years, and maybe even a bit further out? What's the 2030 world look like in Callan's mind?
Mm. Um, AI is gonna be so freaking smart. Number one, I will do near term. So next 1 to 3 years, I mean, I think
Mm-hmm.
we're already there. Is that AI fluency is just like literacy, like email in the 2000s or Excel in the 90s. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of where we are. But 1 to 3 years from now, it is table stakes. I think 3 to 7 years, we're going to be moving into a super agency. This is going back to the book where humans
Mm-hmm.
are not operating at task levels. Humans don't do tasks. They orchestrate the flow of intelligence. There's going to be machines, AI, that every human is going to have a little team of their AI tools. I think we were actually having this conversation on Friday. We were doing a EOS session, which stands for
Mm-hmm.
Entrepreneurial Operating System, and it's basically just a session of sitting back, working with our business coach and with our leadership team. We were putting our accountability chart together, and I was like, I think next quarter we will have AI agents on our accountability chart and they will be owned inside of our organization. I think HR is going to expand. Like there's going to be like people managers, but AI managers, and there's going to be a big identity shift. I don't think people will have as like this tenured career of like I'm a what's something people do? I'm a marketing. I'm a copywriter. That's I mean it's easy. I'm a financial advisor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well we're already in the place where AI. You think a human should be making stock trades? Like what are we talking about? The data that AI can ingest and create, like it's the amount of it's like the human brain can't even. That's not even we're not even on the same planet in terms of these decisions. So financial advisors are going to have to become really resourceful, and they're going to have to be visionaries. They're going to have to think differently. They're going to create a new identity of now they're going to be orchestrating the technology. Long term, my god, it's it's going to be a I think it's there's going to be two major ways. I think there's either going to be such an incredible, almost like a universal basic income situation where it's like there's going to be so much less of, well, I was just born without opportunity. Like you there really isn't. I mean, you think about a tribe in Africa, I don't know, somewhere in where
Mm-hmm.
they have Starlink and a Microsoft Surface, they could have a social media agency. They could have, they could be, I don't know, they could be serving anyone, anywhere, in any part of the world. Like the opportunity is incredible. Now, you know, do people understand how to use it? Do they, I think 7 to 15 years from now though, I mean, it's just that's a non that's they will understand how to use it, and they'll be able to create their own agents, and their agents will go to work for them, and the people that know how to train, and they're relentless on perfection, and they know, again, it's back to knowing what you want it to do. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
creative thinking, it's critical thinking, it's thinking about your thinking. It's this We're kind of going back to the basics of truly what have the best human beings in the world, like the most successful human beings in the world, like what skills have they mastered? Creativity, critical thinking, emotional intelligence, and the courage to reinvent themselves over and over again. I mean, that's really going to be like almost everyone's going to have to adopt all those things to stay relevant.
Yeah, no, I love that. And that's a great response. And I think an ending note here on my side is like the way I see it going is this great level set almost, because now nobody really has an excuse, because for $20 a month, a few Starbucks coffees or whatever it is you do, right?
One grab
Um,
it. Let's be honest. I went to Starbucks the other day. It's like $8. I'm like, this is crazy. I mean, the fact that for $20 a month, no, and
yeah,
people are like, I can only afford one. I'm like, you just took your kids to Dairy Queen last night and spent $50. Do not at me with this $40 a
right.
month. It's nothing. It's nothing.
Oh, and the value that you get in return is
Oh,
just infinite.
infinite,
That much more
infinite.
energy and brain capacity and better outcomes. Creating checklists for your family packing list and just anything that you can think of, it will certainly help you. And the things that we need to focus on are, I think, connectivity as humans. Human to human is going to be huge,
Oh yeah.
as well as the keeping that authenticity and, like you said, training it and give it the creativity and authenticity. And then also one of the areas that I'm passionate about in the future here is going to be helping to teach those underserved to utilize it and use it in the right way, so that way it can help them really jump out of their situation. And a lot of that's probably got to start with, again, thinking about your thinking and your current situation, and dreaming big, and it can help with all those things and then more.
That's so good. It's so good, Shane. I think that's the whole thing. There's so many people right now who they're so unhappy and they're not fulfilled. And of course, there's a dark side of everything. There's a dark side of the internet. There's a dark side of cars. There's a dark side of, manufacturing and all of it. But can we, believe it or not, people on the internet, Shane and I do not control whether or not AI is going to be around. The crazy people on the internet, like on my ads, they're like, you should stop this. Please stop AI. I'm like, unfortunately, I can't stop AI. And if I could, I'd be on a yacht in the Mediterranean. But I cannot. And so let's look at this as, how do we create this next identity of these, especially for people that are so unfulfilled in their life? Like, first of all, we need to tap back into our own selves. I actually was talking about this with Chris Duff, who's also in our Uncommon Leaders program. I think there will be a massive wave of spiritual connection and spiritual development. I think we're already seeing it, because it's just like, our ancestors didn't have to meditate. Why didn't they have to meditate? Because they weren't served hundreds of thousands of inputs every day. Every day, the Slack messages, the texts, the freaking billboards, the radio's on, the commercials, this and that. It is your brain is completely overwhelmed with inputs. So we have to meditate. So we have to sit over here and don't think about anything for a second. We didn't have to do that in the past. We are now entering into a world where we're very much in a virtual reality. So we have to force ourselves to remember we're a tiny little speck on a planet that is a tiny speck in infinite's not even a big enough word to say how big this universe is. And our soul is here for a reason. Like, there are things that our soul is desiring to do and experience and see. And I think it's never going to be as important as it is now to be in touch with a higher power, your higher consciousness, whatever you believe to be true, because AI is going to just reflect back to you all the things that you're thinking, the things that you value. It will reflect back if you feel small, it's going to show you that. And again, like the winners are still going to be the ones that are so deeply authentic and aligned with their soul's purpose. It doesn't matter if they're using AI or not. Those are going to be the winners. And now it's like the people that are connected to their higher consciousness, they're doing the inner work, they're breaking bread with their friends in real life without technology, and then they use AI on top of it. Sky's the limit for those people.
And that's limitless right there.
So good.
Yeah, so good. Well, I think that's a perfect ending note. Complete limitless human connection, creativity, sandwich that on top of some AI, and that's a good recipe.
People were like, I thought we were going to learn how to build AI agents today. We're like, look, they aren't going to be any good if you are not grounded down into who you are and what you want. And that's just really the end of it.
They are agree 100%.
And they're coming. And if you're in engineering, you should be learning from Shane every damn day, or else you're missing the boat.
Definitely. And likewise for everybody else out there, there's no better program than Callan's and her $47 masterclass that's going on right now. The best $47, the highest ROI you will ever get. And I actually didn't go to the boot camp series. I went to the master classes, which were actually free, arguably maybe more infinitely great value, but the $47 boot camps are amazing. And it's just a way, there's so many stories coming out of that of people who didn't even go into the program, but went to that and again, changed their life. Like you mentioned, $50,000 pay increase in their pay package because they went to that class. Like, insane.
So fun. I mean, I believe it. I know you do too. It's like just a couple things in this boot camp. So we're doing a boot camp. It kicks off on October 2nd. I know you'll probably have a link in the bio of this or the description of this podcast. I think of it like our AI magic show, where a lot of this is a lot of talking about things. So it's the point of it, it's 3 90-minute sessions where all we're doing is just showing incredible of examples of how AI has changed people's lives in their business. And I'm just going through different systems, different departments. What about in sales? What about in marketing? What about in operations? What about for leadership? And yeah, we're going to touch on, of course, prompting projects, but we are going to do some automation work. We're going to talk about agents. It's going to be fun. So seeing is believing. I'm a very visual person, so this is my version of an adult magic show. And
Amazing.
I have a lot of fun doing it.
And on that note, if people want to get in touch with you, what's the best way to get in touch with the Uncommon Business in Cal?
Honestly, my Instagram is probably the best. It's Callan Faulkner, Callan. And then if you are still like, I need help, I don't know what to do, our website, you can reach out to us. It's theuncommonbusiness.co. But in my Instagram, I'll always have, like, in my link in bio, the latest and greatest. So if we have a boot camp coming up, if we have a event coming up, if we have some sort of training coming up, you can always navigate there and stay tuned, because my God, we take one eye off the ball and there's a new thing. Shane and I just got on and we're like, okay, Claude has memory. Awesome. What does that mean? Now we have to spend the rest of the afternoon figuring out, can we edit the memory? Can I load in my memory? How does it work? So it's an absolute blast.
Yeah.
It's always getting better.
Ooh, unbelievable. The rapid pace of change is hard to even put into words right now.
It is. I was just telling Chris, I'm like, there's a reason why I stay like 3 months behind. I'm like, just for my well-being. I'm like, I am not a bleeding edge. I'm like, everyone else, let it fail, and then I'll be right in to swoop in and be like, perfect. It works now? Great. I'm interested. Show me it now without errors, please.
Yep. I totally believe that. Even with cars, I always say, like, buying a used car with 3,000 miles on it is not a bad idea, because then if there were any issues with it coming out of the factory,
there you go.
The first owner figured it out. And so you can filter out a lot of the different vehicles that way.
I feel like that with image generation. Like, there's a reason why I haven't really taught on it. It just hasn't been that great. Like, it's sure, could you sit there for hours and hours and f with your prompts and, oh God, I didn't get there. And then here, Google with Nano Banana comes out, and I'm like, thank God, it actually works. I don't have to be a prompt engineer and all these markdowns. I'm like, this should not be that hard. But again, it's just, I think that's like, some people are so like, I have to have image generate. I'm like, just wait 4 months, 6 months, like, just be patient. It's coming. It shouldn't feel that hard. It really shouldn't.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I waited for that one.
That was a good call, Jan. And Nano Banana is very good. It's insane.
It's so good. I'm so happy. I'm like, thank you, Lord. I've been waiting. It's been a part of the prayers. Please give me an image generation tool that works, because I'm so tired of answering the question. So
amazing. All right.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you, Callan, for coming on. Appreciate it so much. And yes, we will have a link in the podcast description for the upcoming bootcamp series. $47, best $47 you're going to spend, so you can connect that way. And then otherwise, we'll be here on the next episode. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Callan.
Thank you, Shane.